Imagine a world without cash. Picture spaceships traveling between planets. Think of societies that have conquered scarcity. Science fiction often presents us with these imaginative scenarios. They invite us to think about the future of money and the economy. How would trade work on a galactic scale? What happens when resources are abundant or scarce? These questions explored in science fiction can teach us a lot about our own world. Science fiction at its core is a reflection of our own anxieties and aspirations. Economic systems, often central to these narratives, are no different. By exploring fictional economies, we gain a unique perspective on our own economic realities. We can question our assumptions and imagine alternative possibilities. This exploration helps us better understand the complexities of our own financial systems.
Science fiction doesn't always invent entirely new economic theories. Instead, it often extrapolates from existing ones. Take, for example, the idea of a post-scarcity society. This concept, frequently explored in science fiction, is rooted in the economic theory of abundance. This theory suggests that technological advancements could lead to a future where basic needs are met for everyone.
Another example is the exploration of resource management in dystopian fiction. These narratives often draw parallels to real-world concerns about sustainability and environmental degradation. By exaggerating these issues, science fiction can serve as a cautionary tale. It highlights the potential consequences of our current economic practices. In this way, fiction becomes a powerful tool for social commentary.
One of the most intriguing aspects of science fiction economies is the concept of galactic currency. How do you establish a universal form of money across different planets and civilizations? Star Wars gives us the galactic credit standard, a system based on a central bank and a widely accepted currency. Star Trek, on the other hand, presents a future where money is largely irrelevant on Earth. Instead, they focus on the acquisition and exchange of resources and knowledge.
These contrasting examples highlight different possibilities for the future of money. Will we move towards a more centralized global currency, or will technology make traditional forms of money obsolete? By exploring these questions, science fiction encourages us to think critically about the role of money in our own society. It pushes us to imagine alternative systems that might be more equitable and sustainable.
Dystopian science fiction often paints a bleak picture of the future. These narratives explore worlds ravaged by environmental disaster, war, or overpopulation. In these scenarios, resources are scarce, and economic systems are often based on control and exploitation. Mad Max depicts a world where gasoline and water are more valuable than gold. The Hunger Games features a society where wealth is concentrated in the hands of a powerful elite, while the majority struggle to survive.
These stories, though fictional, hold a mirror to our own world. They highlight the dangers of unchecked consumption, social inequality, and environmental neglect. By exaggerating these issues, dystopian fiction serves as a stark warning. It reminds us of the importance of responsible resource management and social equity. Section 5. Trading across the galaxy, sci-fi exchange rates. Interplanetary trade is a staple of many science fiction universes. But how do you establish exchange rates when dealing with different planets, each with its own unique resources and economic systems?
Some science fiction stories, like those in the Dune universe, rely on bartering and political alliances to facilitate trade. Others, like The Expanse, introduce fictional currencies and complex economic agreements.
These fictional scenarios provide interesting parallels to our own global economy. They highlight the complexities of international trade, exchange rates, and the flow of goods and services. By exploring these challenges in a fictional context, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the intricacies of our own globalized world. Section 6. Who gets what and why resource allocation in space? Resource allocation becomes a critical issue in many science fiction narratives. When faced with limited resources, how do societies decide who gets what?
Star Trek often presents a utopian vision where resources are distributed based on need and a shared sense of purpose. In contrast, The Expanse depicts a more realistic scenario where political maneuvering, corporate interests, and social inequalities influence resource distribution.
These fictional examples raise important questions about fairness, equity, and sustainability in resource management. They challenge us to consider different models for resource allocation, both in the present and the future. By exploring these issues in a fictional context, we can engage in meaningful conversations about how to create a more just and sustainable world.
Section 7. Building Utopia. Can we live long and prosper?
Utopian science fiction offers a glimpse into a future where humanity has overcome many of its current challenges. In these idealized worlds, poverty, hunger, and war are often distant memories.
Star Trek, for example, presents a future where humanity has achieved a high level of technological advancement and social progress. This utopian vision is characterized by a focus on exploration, scientific discovery, and the pursuit of knowledge.
While these utopian visions may seem idealistic, they serve an important purpose. They provide a hopeful counterpoint to the often dystopian narratives prevalent in science fiction. By imagining a positive future, we can aspire to create a better world for ourselves and future generations.
Section 8. The Dark Side of the Future. Economic Inequality and Dystopias.
In contrast to utopian visions, dystopian science fiction often portrays a future where economic inequality runs rampant. These narratives explore the consequences of unchecked capitalism, corporate greed, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of a select few.
The Hunger Games depicts a society sharply divided between the wealthy capital and the impoverished districts. Blade Runner presents a world where powerful corporations control advanced technology and exploit marginalized populations.
These dystopian stories serve as cautionary tales. They highlight the dangers of unchecked economic disparity and the erosion of social safety nets. By exaggerating these issues, dystopian fiction encourages us to confront the uncomfortable realities of our own world. It compels us to address issues of poverty, inequality, and social injustice.
Section 9. Lessons from the Future. Shaping a better economic reality.
Science fiction, while often fantastical, can offer valuable lessons for shaping a better economic future. By exploring fictional economic systems, we can identify potential pitfalls and opportunities. We can learn from the mistakes of imagined societies and draw inspiration from their successes.
For example, the concept of a resource-based economy, often explored in science fiction, encourages us to rethink our relationship with consumption and sustainability. Similarly, narratives that emphasize cooperation and shared prosperity challenge us to prioritize social equity and global collaboration.
By heeding the warnings and embracing the possibilities presented in science fiction, we can work towards creating a more just and sustainable economic future. Section 10, Sci-Fi and the Economy, A Glimpse into Tomorrow. Science fiction at its core is a reflection of our own hopes and fears about the future. By exploring fictional economic systems, we gain a unique perspective on our own economic realities. We can question our assumptions, challenge the status quo, and imagine alternative possibilities. While science fiction cannot predict the future, it can help us prepare for it. By engaging with these imaginative narratives, we can start important conversations about the role of technology, the distribution of resources, and the values we want to prioritize in our economic systems. In this way, science fiction becomes a powerful tool for shaping a more just and sustainable future for all.